Hello everyone, this is me Abdullah Noman, and in this video I'm going to start talking about bugs. Now what are bugs? Let me just show you what are bugs. Let's say I give 2 here and then something here and then I say add and then the app crashes. Now the app crashed because there was a bug inside my application. Now then what is a bug? A bug is anything inside your application that gives you unexpected result. Now what might be this unexpected result that I am talking about? Well, the unexpected result might be something that makes your Android application crash, or maybe it makes your Android application freeze, or maybe a code that takes too much memory, or maybe the Android application gives you incorrect results. For example, 2 plus 2 is 4, it is supposed to be 4 but it gives you 5 or whatever. Now, or so anything that gives you unexpected result is considered as a bug. Now there are actually 3 reasons why, because of which there might be bugs inside your applications. The number 1 reason is human errors, and the errors that are created by the software developer, Android application developer. For example, if we are making an Android application that divides 2 numbers, and then we created then we gave a number here and we try to divide it by 0, then the Android application will might crash because a number cannot be divided by 0. So if we did not create any exception, any code to handle that specific situation as a developer, if we did not create that create the programming to handle this specific situation where we are trying to where the user is trying to divide a number by 0, then the Android application will crash. So that is a mistake made by the Android application developer, because he did not think of this specific situation. Now there might be another example. Let's say in one of my previous videos we were working with intents, right? Implicit intents. Now we were looking for other activities in other applications to do something that we want to do using implicit intents. Now what if there was no activity inside the application itself? Inside the mobile there was no activity inside the phone that could perform the action that we want to do. Then that is a specific situation that the Android developer might not think of in the future, when he is developing the Android application. He might not think of it when he is developing. He might think, okay, I can find an application, but what if he encounters a situation where he does not have any activity? Well, you have to, as a developer, you have to think of that from the beginning, and you have to create the right programming to deal with that situation, that this is what my application will do if there is no activity that can perform the action. Now these are errors that the software developer might not think of encountering. These are situations that the developer might not think of encountering in the future, and he might create these bugs. So these are human errors. All right. Now the second kind of error, the second reason why there might be a bug in your Android application is software limitation. Now the limitation that I am talking about here is the limitation in JDK or in Android API itself. For example, when you are trying to use material design, let's say you are trying to use material design inside your Android application. Now material design, as far as I know, material design have been introduced after API level 5, which is Android Lollipop. Now if you are trying to use it with a version of API that is less than 5, for example Android API 4 or 3.2, then your Android application might crash because the API is not compatible with the programming that you are trying to use. So that might be a software limitation. Now of course there are support libraries. That we can use in order to work around this limitation, and in some cases there might not be a support library, so you have to be smart enough to figure out what to do in that specific situation depending on that situation. But this is another reason because of which there might be a bug inside your application, which is a software limitation. Now there is a third reason why there might be an Android there might be a bug inside your application, which is called hardware limitation. Now hardware limitation is very simple to understand. For example, you are creating a Android application that requires a certain kind of sensor. Inside in that case, if you try to run that application, well, of course your Android application will not give the will not give the expected result if that sensor is not there. Or for example, if you want to create a camera application and your mobile your Android phone doesn't have a camera, for example, for whatever reason, if it doesn't have a camera, then that will be a hardware limitation. Now in that case, you should be smart enough to your code should be smart enough to detect. If you are creating a camera application, then your code should be smart enough to detect if there is a camera in the device. All right, or if there is a certain sensor in that device, or if there is a certain hardware in that device, your code should be smart enough to detect that. If it doesn't, then in that situation, when it faces a situation that the sensor doesn't exist, it might crash or it might give you unexpected results. So all of those things are called bugs. Now in the future videos, I'm going to start talking about the ways to handle the bugs and the different tools that Android Studio, Android API provides us programmers to debug our Android applications. So that's about that for this video, and very soon we are going to start learning more about Android bugs. Take care, have a good day, have a good life.